We continue with part 2 of our interview with Mr. Kirk Wagar.
Well, one thing I'm not going to do is tell another country how they need to organize themselves. I won't do it here or any other country. I think that's disrespectful. All we can do is talk about how we do things and why we do things, and hopefully that makes sense to people around the world. Our relationships with Singapore, I would argue, are certainly our best they've ever been, and perhaps one of our closest strategic partners in the world. We share a lot of similarities. However, we are in different geographic realms with a different history, and we should not have an expectation that our way is the only way. Singapore is a platform to ASEAN, and not everyone in the world has figured that out yet. And so my job is to make sure that American companies that aren't here see it as such. But we already have 3,600 American companies based in Singapore. They all have regional responsibilities. Some have global responsibilities. So I think that as we go forward over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, continuing to use the beacon of good governance, transparency, and rule of law that Singapore has used as founding principles to show other nations that are close by or far afield the benefits. This is what happens if you have strong rule of law. People will invest money there because they know that if something goes wrong, they can get it back. I think you're seeing a movement by some countries in the region to be closer to those ideals, not because we've convinced them because a movie has come out, but because they've seen the benefits that Singapore has enjoyed by that. We do many things together. I mean, we certainly just this week, you've seen the U.S. military and Singapore military on the ground with the tragedy that happened with AirAsia. And there was a Singapore Navy that found, I think, the fuselage. That only happens, I think, because of the extensive training we do together. So perhaps other countries in the region who don't do as much training with us will see the benefit of that cooperation. Those are the things that we want to continue to work on in the region and use Singapore as just a phenomenal partner and a platform.